Hello friends, welcome to the session. Today we will discuss postmodernism. Friends, postmodernism is the idea that reality is not mirrored in human understanding. It talks about nothing is absolute, and as the time changes, you cannot determine the respectivity, you cannot determine the relevance of any point. As you know that in the 18th century or the late 17th or early 19th century, there was a movement, we call it the modernistic movement, wherein people used to look at the old rituals and traditions in a very different way. The feminism got evolved, the Marxism, the communism, the socialism, the capitalism, they all got evolved. Many theories in sociology, anthropology, political science, different perspectives of reading the history, geography were evolved over the time. And people used to have a very liberal approach. People used to say that the liberalism is the only way by which we can see the things in a more rational way. Okay, people used to got objective in their nature. They used to say that this is wrong, this is right, this is right, this is wrong. They used to determine an opinion, and then that opinion was based on some liberalistic ideas. But after 15 or 100 years, we can say in the early 20th century, a new way of thinking, a new method of thinking evolved, and that was the postmodernism, which allows you to analyze the things, to rationalize the things in whatever the way you like to do them. We can say it is the extension of democracy. Even if you are saying something that can be harmful for individual freedom or for collective freedom or for collective liberty, you are still allowed to say that. Okay, so now I have presented you a diagram. Pre-modern used to say that this is the point blank thing. God puts it there. That is why it's always been there. It's the things were as the way they are now. Then comes the modernistic movement. They used to say that no, you have to be progressive in your approach. You have to think upwards, onwards. No one knows that whatever they are thinking can be termed as upwards or onwards. But it was a general opinion that whatever the new ideas evolving in the 18th century or the early 19th century, they were onward and upward ideas. If you are talking about the rights of the people, the individual freedom, the equality of women, the equality of the right to practice any religion, belief, they used to think that they are the modern ideas. Any thinker who propagate any theory based upon these topics, the thinker used to call as the progressive thinker or modern thinker. Now comes the postmodernism. It actually gave the oxygen to all the people. Now, at the time when modern ideas were evolving, people who used to have belief in the rituals, the traditions, the centuries old traditions, they were actually sidelined in the discourses on history, geography, political science, anthropology, whatever. The people who have an opinion based upon the traditional things, they were sidelined. But postmodernism gave them oxygen. It provides them an opportunity. Yes, whatever your approach is, that is also important. No one has the right to say that you are wrong. Everybody has a right to place his own opinion, his or her own opinion. But no one termed you as wrong. Whatever you are saying, it will be listened. Anybody adhere to that or not, it's not a point. But you have the right to say. Okay, so this is the postmodernism. When we pass that stage of modernism, and we accept that whatever has happened or whatever is happening or whatever will happen in the future is actually the outcome of whole scenario, whether the sociological, economical, political, ritualistic, tradition, they combinedly all the things make a society, and whatever events happen in a society, that is actually the outcome of all the calculations themselves. Okay, you cannot see the things in an objective way. Okay, You cannot be narrow in your approach. You have to think the way like they are. So I have also given you an other, I can say, an other image. Here you can say a father is advising his daughter that stop biting your nails. So that's a good advice. There is nothing wrong in this advice. But the funny thing is the critique. It's actually the critique of postmodernism. And what the girl is saying, look here, identity killer. I am what I eat. Dad, you are killing my identity. You cannot stop me from biting my nails. I am what I eat. I can eat whatever I want. So this is also a criticism to postmodernism. So here I provide you the introduction, the theologies on the which postmodernism is based, and also the critique. So you will be having, this topic is very, very complex to make you understand, and you will not find many of the writings of any writer or any thinker about postmodernism, because this is the very basic quality of postmodernism, that nothing is stable. Today you propagate a philosophy, it may be possible tomorrow it may be got vanished. Okay, it may proven wrong. So postmodernism, also spelled postmodernism in Western philosophy, a late 20th century movement characterized by broad skepticism, subjectivism. This is very important for you to understand. Subjectivism. Nothing is objective. You cannot see the things in an objective manner. You have to open for all the discussions. And relativism, a general suspicion of reason. It is also important. Whatever you are saying, that has to be reasoned. Whether it is correct or not, you should provide reason behind that. And an acute sensitivity to the role of ideology. Actually, the postmodernism has established, or actually we can say the postmodernism is the result itself of an ideology-less, classless society. And postmodernism is available in all the subjects. We cannot say that postmodernism is only available in the political science. In every subject you have a stage, you have a span of time where postmodernism evolved in the later part of the 20th century. Whether the economics, whether the history, geography, any social sciences, arts, literature, music, the stage of postmodernism has been attained by each and every subject. So as I was telling you, modernism, it was the Renaissance period where people used to think that rationalization is the thing, liberalism is the thing, democracy is the best way to rule for a king, and every country should have a democratic system. There should be equal rights for all the people. There should be a right to property. Every individual should have a right to practice any religion, belief, faith, whatever you want to practice. So that was the modernism. People should have fundamental rights, and every welfare state should be able to preserve those rights of the people. There should be a constitution. So these were all the things. Okay, that was the modernity. Okay, now comes the postmodernism. Postmodernism is largely a reaction against the intellectual assumptions. The people arise, the people got stand up, and they say, who give you that tag of intellectuals? Who give you that tag that whatever you are saying is correct and whatever has happened in the past, that was wrong? So these were the people who were actually the propagator of postmodernism. There is no philosophy, there is no definition, nothing you can say about postmodernism. It's itself a process. It's not an event, you can say. Okay, the change is the name of the postmodernism. Postmodernism, you can say in that way. Whatever you are saying, it can be past, and the thing which is about to come can be post. Okay. Indeed, many of the doctrines characteristically associated with the postmodernism can fairly be described as the straightforward denial of the general philosophical viewpoint that were taken for granted during the 18th century Enlightenment. Liberalism was taken for granted. Democratic system were taken for granted. Yes, those were the experiments which got successful. But these things are also dependent on the sociological structures, the economical structures. Okay. Postmodern political scientists claim that in these marginal sites, it is impossible to construct a coherent narrative because the people are searching themselves, because the people are searching their inner selves, because the people are getting knowledge, they are having a chance to explore themselves. That is why it is very, very, very tough for them to get coherent, like in India you can say, because now the people has a chance to study, they have reached to the end product of the things they are able to get in the mainstream discourses of discussions. That is why everybody provides their own idea, provides their own narrative, and it is very tough in a country like India, which has so much of diversity. It is very difficult to make them coherent. Okay, so this is what postmodernism also advocates, that this is actually the beauty of our modern times, that people are free to think, they are free to make their opinions. Now, in the modern India, if we say Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, the father of our nation, sometime also termed in such a way, Gandhi also, we can say, some people, some critique of Gandhi say that he was actually the propagator of the old traditions. And Gandhi himself said that, formerly I used to resent the ignorance of my opponents. Today I can love them because I am gifted with the eye to see myself as others see me, and vice versa. There are too many articles available where the writers of those articles, or we can say our president, Mr. Radhakrishnan, also wrote a paper about him, that in the beginning of his political career, Gandhi was used to say the pre-modern thinker. He used to stick to those old beliefs of Hinduism or the contemporary writers. He was not that open to change, but as much as he got to know about the society, as much as he attached to the people, he became a postmodern thinker. And now the statement that Gandhi gave here himself, as you can see on your screen, that he was so grateful to the people that he can see himself by the way others see him. Okay, so Gandhi actually established a stage for postmodern thinking in India. So what are the objectives of postmodernism? It's a process itself. It's not a stage. So what are the objectives of this stage? It works to establish an ideological free society. As I was telling you, the role of ideology is very important in political science, and sometimes not having an ideology is an ideology itself. So the postmodernism actually worked towards a ideological free society. The cultural aspect of any society plays a very important role in studying the postmodernist element. There are some beliefs, some people, some groups of people, some rituals, they do not allow you to think freely. So this is why I am telling you here that culture plays a very important role for you to become a postmodernist thinker, or to get available any postmodernistic idea. Postmodernism can be termed as a process rather than as a stage, as an event. Postmodernism is available in almost all the subjects of social sciences, with economics, anthropology, literature, arts, music, etc. Every subject has come to a stage, has attained a stage which can be termed as the postmodernism. Now, friends, the important questions which can be asked from you in your examination. Difference between the modernism and postmodernism. The fundamental difference is that in modernism, people were actually susceptible, people were actually possessed by some ideas. They were not able to think beyond that. But postmodernism allow you to do so, and no one is going to blame you. You just, what you need to do, that you just need to provide a reason for your idea. Okay, so we can say that. In second question, in some political science theories, modernism and postmodernism evolve currently. Yes, exactly. You can say the socialism itself, or the liberalism itself, or we can say the feminism, the ecologism. These are the theories of political science or social science, we can say, in which the modernist thinking and the postmodernist thinking evolve concurrently. Some writers were giving the idea of democracy. Some were saying that for the democracy, you have to have a very intelligent society. Some were advocating about the socialism, some were criticizing the socialism by citing the example of Russia and other states who got failed by this practice of socialism. So in some political theories, modernism and postmodernism were not having a different span of time. They were actually evolving concurrently. And in the modern times, I am reiterating myself, the young masses of our contemporary period do not allow themselves to get susceptible to any particular ideology, get possessed by some political idea. They want to think freely, they want to remain free, and they want to make whatever the opinion they want. Okay. So friends, that's all for the day, all for the lecture. Thank you.